Bulls next. They had a great season last season, but again got derailed by injuries. Levine was injured for a while. Like then, Vucevic was out of action. Caruso was out of action. Lonzo Ball again gone out of action. Still has not returned. The usual knee, ACL, meniscus, all those words being thrown around. I think if Lonzo Ball comes back, this is a very good team still because nothing has changed much from last time. They have the mid-range mastery of DeMar DeRozan and the slashing of Zach LaVine. I think they're a pretty good team. I don't think they're the third best team in this thing. But again, like the starting lineup, DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, Vucevic, Caruso, Kobe White. Then there's Dragic, Andre Drummond. Drummond is there, Derek Jones Jr. They've got someone named Ayo Dosunmu, Chicago Bulls number 12. 6'5", 200 pounds. So
not bad, huh? Averaging 12 points.
Yeah,
not bad.
13 points a game on 51% shooting.
So the thing for me is that last season, like the Chicago Bulls had a great start, and they completely floundered later, right?
Yeah.
And when I mean completely, like they had one injury, I think Lonzo went out and they completely.
And Caruso also went out.
And they completely like got dismantled. So that's my thing with them is like it's the same. Everything is the same. I think maybe the only person they've added is Goran Dragic, who is a very good player. I mean, but he's old now and can't believe
he doesn't get those minutes anymore. Like
yeah.
It doesn't have that same impact as the Suns Dragic, where he almost won one playoff game for them against the Spurs, I think.
Spurs, yeah.
When he was really young.
Yeah, and then Miami Heat also was really good. Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like you have DeMar and Zach, but who's the point guard if there's no ball? You know, who's actually the point guard? Yeah, there's no one really who's a point guard.
Yeah, I mean, DeMar DeRozan leads the team in assists, so...
That's not a good sign.
That's not a good sign, correct.
Yeah. So, I just feel like it's just discombobulated at this point. I feel there's no... You're right, if there was Lonzo Ball, I think like their first five is really good. You know, I mean, there was, I think, when was this? Like 2020, where we were very high on Chicago Bulls?
No, right? Last season.
Last season only, yeah. We were high on the end of last season when they made all the trades, you know, but they had not really played together. Yeah, they had not really played together, and we were like, oh shit, this team is really good. And they proved it also the next year, right? They proved really fast, and then I don't know, for whatever reason, they just tanked. Like, I mean, there was like DeMar DeRozan is MVP kind of.
Yeah, because he had, I think, either two continuous days of game winners, and he was dropping 40s and 50s, and people were like, 40s, oh my God.
Yeah. And so then people are like, oh, this is what happened. The thing I hate about this is like every time
as we digress, yes.
Yeah, as we digress. So like every time like some player leaves the Spurs and then starts scoring, everyone's like, oh yeah, in the Spurs system, they don't allow you to score. It's like, you think the Spurs don't want people to score? It's like, that means nothing. It's just that other people don't have a system. So like everybody gets free reign and whoever shoots. I think this was like the conversation, and I feel like Stack, right? What's his name? Steven
Jackson. Yeah.
He has such a hate for the Spurs, even though the only chip he won was with the Spurs, but he got thrown out because the Spurs decided to keep Tony Parker instead of Steven Jackson. He hates Tony Parker. Like every time he gets a chance to like shit on Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili, like he does it because like the Spurs had to make a decision and they let go of Steven Jackson and like I think two other people and kept Manu and Tony. And since the Spurs let him go, like he became like a completely useless player. You know, like he was very Steven Jackson in the Spurs, like oh wow, look at him, so awesome. And then after that, he's been completely useless. So like,
when was he on the Spurs? Like, I remember he was on the Spurs during
2003 championship.
And then
or 2005 championship.
Because then he went to the We Believe Warriors, and then I think he jumped around the league a little bit. And then obviously he's more famous for being a pacer.
Malice in the Palace.
Malice in the Palace. Like he found his thing there, and then
jumped
around the league a little bit.
And it's just like simple hate. Like I think there was a conversation about DeJounte Murray and like, oh, look at DeJounte Murray, like, he's now showing his things. Like, oh yeah, because he was in the Spurs system, he couldn't show his thing. He was a near triple double in the Spurs system. Like, what, like, what else do you want? It's just stupidity. Anyways, so like DeMar DeRozan was apparently like, curbed under the Spurs system, even though DeMar DeRozan himself says I became a much better player after going to the Spurs system because I had to like learn how to be more than a scorer and a facilitator and all of that stuff. And but people be hating.
I mean, but like even LaMarcus Aldridge, once he went to the Spurs, like production sort of dropped off a little bit. He was not the big man who could. Like he was supposed to take over Tim Duncan. Like that's how the whole thing went off.
Yeah.
Like they played one season together. They got bounced out by OKC in that semifinals, and then the last good season of the NBA that existed. And after that, he's just like here, there, went to Brooklyn, didn't really play.
No, I mean 2017 they reached the finals, Western Conference Finals.
Who reached the finals?
Spurs, when Kawhi got injured.
Oh, that was the finals. Oh yeah, correct. That was finals. Yeah. But again, like we know LaMarcus Aldridge as a great Portland trailblazer big who was just like unbelievably big at the turnaround and boom, this bank and that mid-range shot.
That's true.
So I mean, I'm sure like we should talk about.
No, there is truth to it. I'm not saying there's no truth to it, but I just don't think it's like a thing to hate.
I mean, LaMarcus Aldridge can say it, not Steven Jackson. That's right.
Yeah, fuck Steven Jackson. His whole claim to fame is like Tim Duncan called me the best teammate he's ever played with. Like that's a huge honor for me. It's like he must have said that to everybody. He said that to like Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili in their Hall of Fame speech. Like, yes, they were the best teammates I played with. This guy is like fucking delicious.
That's the way he compliments. He just says you're the best.
Yeah. Yeah, best.
Oh God.